on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of another boring live stream. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe it is. Who knows? But welcome back. So I didn't do live last week, but there is a reason for that, and I'll let you know that in just a second. What's going on, Mike? I just saw Mike from I Smell. If you guys haven't followed him, make sure you go check him out. Sorry I missed your live yesterday, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I was in the chat, but I wasn't able to join the live. I was going to at the end, but then you guys were leaving, and I didn't want to do that. But anyway, we got a lot of fragrances to talk about today. From new releases that are upcoming, one that was announced today, a bunch of other ones, and then legit about an hour before this live stream started, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 10 new fragrances in that I haven't tried before. So we're going to talk about those. But what's going on, Dylan? How you doing, buddy? What's up, Kevin from Lakeland, Florida? Always good to see you. Happy holidays to everybody, obviously. Ravi Singh, the new Grand Soir Flanker, or first impression. Now, this is me. I just put that in the thing because I just got this in. I have tried Grand Soir before, but I've never actually reviewed it. So I'm going to talk about that today as well. But that is not necessarily what I'm going to be talking about all day today. Because, again, I didn't know what I was going to actually be talking about on this live stream. I wasn't even sure I was going to go live. For those of you who don't know, about a month and a half ago, I got COVID. My sinuses were all flared up. Everything was bad, and I couldn't smell for about a week. And then that went away. Then about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, my daughter came home with COVID again and gave my wife COVID, which then gave me COVID. And so I had COVID again. That's why most of the topics, if you watched my videos the last week, Newt chose a lot of topics that didn't have to do with bottles because I can't really smell that well. I'm getting back into it now, but that's why I didn't do a live stream last week. With that said, I didn't know what I was going to be talking about on this live stream, so I just decided to look around, and I went upstairs to get the mail, and there was a bunch of shit up there. So today I am going to be talking about the Grand Soir that I finally just got in. I got this sent to me by Hamzat right when I got COVID. It is Ultra Red Man by Paco Rabanne, so I always wanted to try that, so I'm going to try that. I got this one in a while ago, but I will revisit it today. This is by Shelter in Perfume. It is called The Tower, and that is a collaboration with Fragtastic Mr. Fox, if you've ever seen him. We also have this one that was sent to me by D. Holmes. He actually sent me a bunch more. If you guys saw, like I did the Versace Santal Boise, stuff like that, but he sent me this one, which was in the pack, and I decided I wanted to try it because if you guys have seen, I did the Coastal Carolina Southern Peach Tea was one of my favorite releases of last year, and this one was the release before that, but I still haven't tried it. I heard it smells really, really good, though. It's supposed to be like an ambery tobacco scent. It's by Coastal Carolina Parfums. It's called 2-6 Elixir. And then we have these two. By Imaginary Authors, we have Bull's Blood and Blend Number 83. So I'm going to be trying those ones out today, letting you guys know exactly what I think. But yeah, let's see what y'all are saying. Dan Not the Man, let's get it. What's going on, buddy? Let's get it. What's up, Jim? How you doing, bud? Paris Corner, Amir Spirit Crush. Yes, let me know what your scent of the day is. So I didn't post my scent of the day today or yesterday or the day before that, I think, because I haven't worn anything. I think the only thing that I wore throughout those 3 days was YSL YEDT, because, again, my scent of smell is just coming back to me now. And so I decided to just smell fresh, but if I can't really smell anything, then I'm going to smell something fresh. And that is the YSL YEDT is what I've been wearing, so let me know what your scent of the day is before we do get into all of this. I'll first start talking about all of the fragrances that are now being released that are at least talked about. Sorry, I'm moving my microphone around. There we go. I need to get a better table for this to sit on, or at least a stabilizer, but if I get a stabilizer, that's not really going to change anything because my stabilizer in the other room, that one works well, but this little table that I have set up in my room doesn't really do well. Anyway. Hey, what's up? What's up, Smacked? Scent of the day is Armani Code Eau de Parfum. Really nice. Thinking of buying Code Colonia to finish my Code collection soon. That's discontinued now, so it's harder to find. I do have about 20 milliliters of it back here. Code Colonia and Prodalone Water Splash, they smell very, very similar. It legit is exactly what you would expect to get from a fresher version of Code. It still has a little bit of a warmth to it, but it's exactly what you would expect. Um, but yeah, the ones we'll talk about today are I know Ross. So I did my 2024 predictions and upcoming releases video. If you didn't see that, that was a few days ago. I know Ross just talked about a few of them. If you haven't checked out, so last week, Mo, my moderator, he came up with a lot of videos that were top 10 lists. And this week was Newt. So today was the last video that I released for Newt. And a lot of them were kind of like what if videos, not having to do with fragrance bottles. So it was kind of a nice change of pace. And then next week, or I guess this week technically, is going to be Killer Kamikaze, aka Rob, aka Hamzat. Weird question. Oh, sorry. D Holmes. So D Holmes is in the chat. He's the one who sent me 2-6 Elixir. So yeah. So he said, I dig Ultra Red, wearing Jubilation 25 now. Nice. Weird question. Did your smell preferences change after recovering from COVID at all? So, Ravi, that's actually an interesting question. The first time I got COVID, didn't really, it went away completely. And then it came back, and honestly, nothing changed. Like, my smell preferences didn't change whatsoever. I do have to say, though, this time, my scent didn't go away completely like it did the first time. But as it came back, I found myself a little bit more accustomed to more personal enjoyment scents. But I don't know if that's just because I can't smell very well. But so I sprayed on bull's blood about an hour ago because I want to get a feel of the dry down before I smell it. I haven't smelled it on my hand. I smelled it for like 2 seconds, but my wife told me to wash it off. But anyway, I'll get into that in a second. What do you think of Scandal? Okay, so we'll get into that now. Let me just make sure. So Newt's wearing YSL tuxedo. Speaking of Newt, everybody give a shout out to him for all of the stuff going on today. Jim's wearing Thameen Royal Sapphire. Nice. All right, so scent of the day is Himalaya for Ravi. Perfect day fragrance and surprisingly lasts on me. Creed Himalaya was on sale on Venba, I think. It was like $220 something. So yeah. Thank you, Dylan, by the way. Oh shit, everything almost just fell. So anyway, let's talk about some of the upcoming releases. Even though if you didn't see my video, I might be drinking a lot on this because, again, COVID, all that good stuff. Well, since Emily is here, shout out to Emily in the chat. So she is from Shelter and Perfume, the founder of Shelter and Perfume, the one that I was talking about. Again, we talked about this, I would say, you guys would probably know better than me. I think it was like 3 or 4 months ago. It was right when she sent me this. I believe I won it from some kind of questionnaire on another person's live stream, but it is called The Tower from Shelter and Perfume. We're going to just talk about that real quick before we go into the other fragrances. So let's talk about it. What is going on with The Tower? So I do want to also say, so I will put the link in the description to her video, to her Etsy channel. So she, or her Etsy page, I guess you should say. Hello from Portland, Oregon. So that's where you're from. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I was looking at her Etsy page. That's where she sells all of her fragrances. And there is one on there. I saved it here. Give me a second. I want to pull it up. And it is called Ruby Yule, Yule. And this is another one of her Shelter and Perfume fragrances. And it is, let me just read you the note breakdown. I told her I'm buying this like ASAP. It looks like a Christmas fragrance in a bottle. It is a lightly sweet holiday baking gourmand with orange, cinnamon, gingerbread, eggnog, cocoa, coffee, tonka bean, and vanilla. I said, I'm a gourmand fanatic, so that sounds freaking amazing. And you can also, it says on here, if you have Klarna, which is kind of like Afterpay, you'll also save up to 20% the first time you pay with that through Etsy. So, yeah, anyway, Ruby Yule, I'm buying that. I am totally buying that. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about today. I am talking about The Tower. So the tower, I'll get a picture of the bottle here so you guys can see it so you have a better understanding of it. Again, it is in collaboration with Fragtastic Mr. Fox, and that is the bottle of the tower. So this fragrance is dark, spicy. It has this really spicy, woody top note right when you put it on, along with a little bit of a darker citrus. I've never looked at the notes for this, so I'd be very interested to see if there was something like labdanum, frankincense, because that's exactly what you get in here. And there's one other fragrance that this reminds me of, not the incensey part, not the spicy part. There is a tea to it. And the tea reminds me of actually imaginary authors, and it's called Oh Unknown. They have a dark tea fragrance called Oh Unknown, and that has that same type of tea in this. And I love tea fragrances, especially the darker type of tea. And so this fragrance, again, it's almost like if you had a little bit of a sweetness undertoning the entire fragrance, but for the most part, it has this tea lingering in the opening. I haven't worn this probably for about 3 or 4 weeks, but the tea in this is fantastic. I'm not sure if they meant for the tea to be that prominent, but for me, it is a dark, spicy, smoky. There's like a pepper, labdanum, woody mixture in this. There's like a cedar, sandalwood, something like that. Brings a nice little creamy vibe to it. But overall, the fragrance is super high quality. It is something that I would say you could wear out on a date. You could wear this. Oh, this is something like night out on the town. Nice if you're getting dressed up. Maybe nice suit and tie fragrance. Yeah, this will do really well in the cool weather as well. It's definitely strong. If you're somebody who likes the darker, slightly resinous style fragrances that has this again woody spice and then has an incense all across the fragrance with this tea note lingering in the middle and a nice creamy sandalwood in it. Oh, yeah, that's tight. I feel like I'm back in the 90s saying that's tight. That's really nice. I very much enjoy that fragrance. But again, in that style of fragrance, it is not my personal style, even though that's saying something for me to say that I enjoy the fragrance. That's saying something, which makes me think that I'm absolutely going to love that Yule. What is it again? Ruby Yule. And what's something that's funny, if you guys don't know, so I am in pharmacy, and she said that it was named after somebody named Ruby that is also a pharmacist. So I was like, even better of a reason for me to pick up the bottle. But yeah, I mean, gingerbread, eggnog, cocoa, coffee. While I'm on the site, I might as well look up the notes for the tower. All right, so the tower, it's low in stock, only 3 left. So if you are interested in it, it's $125. The tower is a dark mandarin, black pepper, definitely black pepper, black tea. There we go. That's what I get. Rose, I don't get much rose. So that's interesting because you guys know my feelings about rose. Not a huge fan of it, but I don't really get much rose in the fragrance. But I mean, it might be a nice florally undertone that's just providing that slight subtle nuance. Labdanum, black spruce. Okay, I don't know what that smells like, but totally understandable with the woods. I would have thought it was cedar or something. Smoke, frankincense. There we go. Cedar, sandalwood. So there is cedar and sandalwood in it. And again, it has a 5-star on her Etsy page. Again, it is in my description if you are interested in it. But Emily, shout out to you. Shout out to Fragtastic Mr. Fox. Really, really, really nice fragrance. But again, if you like the fragrance Oh Unknown by Imaginary Authors, which I actually have somewhere around here. I don't know where. I just was smelling it because I thought that they smelled very similar. Not the actual fragrance, but the tea. I love the tea in it. It's not like the tea you get in Oolong Cha. This is like she said, like in there, it's a black tea. Black spruce can smell a little minty, very cold. It is a definitely cool weather scent. I really enjoy this, and that would make sense. So I get this woodiness to it. So I do get the sandalwood. The sandalwood provides a little bit of a warm creaminess to it, but the woody factor, because I knew that it was either sandalwood or cedar, but there was a darker woods, and so that's what that is. The dark spruce makes complete sense. Um, it's definitely a cold, darker woods. Makes sense completely. But well done, Emily. I'm sorry that you missed the first time that I talked about the fragrance, but now I'm glad that you were able to see the second time. With that said, I am going to definitely let you guys know. Go to the description. At least give a shout out to Emily if you don't want to go check out the fragrances. I would definitely recommend it though, because if the rest of her fragrances are anything like that one, I mean, I am excited. With that said, let's talk about some of the new releases that are upcoming. Somebody already asked me, what are your feelings about Scandal Absolute? So I talked about it in my 2024 new releases that are upcoming, and they are absolutely mind-boggling that they're already coming out with this many. So, Scandal Absolute. There's no note breakdown for it at all, but I would have to guess that it's some kind of amber, sweet, heavy fragrance. That would 100% be keeping in line with the fragrance line. So the first one had that caramel in it, caramel, whatever you say. It was in the first one, and I didn't like it as much. The second one, very similar to Invictus Victory Elixir. It has pieces of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir in there. It is a darker, ambery, rich, sweet fragrance that is great for the cool weather. So Scandal Absolute, I'm hoping there's some kind of booze in it. That's what I'm going to guess. A lot of Absolute scents have that. Sometimes there's vanilla, but it's being released now. It's an Absolute, so I'm going to guess that it's going to be an ambery scent. I'm really excited about it, to be honest with you. With the Scandal, if I can reach it. I can't reach it. Can I? No. It's back there somewhere. Scandal, the Le Parfum is, and they have the King bottles on top, so the King Crown, so they look really cool. And what's another one? Stronger With You Tobacco. I've already talked about that quite a few times. Still no note breakdown for that either, but I mean, I've heard some good things about the fragrance. Some people in Europe had some decants of it already. Bottles haven't been quite released yet, but yeah, that one I heard is a more grown up version of the line. It's somebody said it was like more of a suit and tie style fragrance from the Stronger With You DNA. They said that it had the Stronger With You DNA still in it. So if you're not interested in the Stronger With You DNA, then you probably won't like it. It's still going to be Stronger With You, just mixed together with, sorry, my mind's everywhere. Mixed together with tobacco, and I don't know what else is in it, but here's hoping that it does something different, because Stronger With You Oud is my second favorite in the line. But that still doesn't do much different than the rest of the line outside of adding a deeper, denser, dark woods in the opening, similar to that black spruce that she had. It is supposed to be oud, but it just smells like a darker woods. And it mixes together with basically Stronger With You intensely if you dial down the vanilla. Stronger With You leather, I smelled once. I can't remember what it smells like, but I heard good things. And so Stronger With You tobacco is coming out. Just today, they announced, and let me pull it up because I don't remember the name and I don't want to butcher it. It is Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau Paradise Garden. And again, there is no note breakdown for it at all. Somebody said that it could be a special edition release that was kind of just like a, and Jean Paul Gaultier is known for doing that, but I don't think so. They're not going to call it Paradise Garden and have a different leaf on the bottle and stuff like that, and change the fluid color. It's going to be probably, looks like a green scent, maybe a tropical green scent. I honestly don't know, but here's looking forward to that. You know what's funny is in my 2024 video, I said that since Scandal Absolute was coming out, obviously Jean Paul Gaultier Le Beau Paradise and Le Beau was going to be coming out with something. I thought it was going to be Le Beau Absolute, but because usually they fall along with the same Scandal and Le Beau. But yeah, Le Beau Paradise Garden sounds okay. We have Givenchy Gentleman Society Extreme, which makes no freaking sense. They just came out with Society, and it's good, and it took me a while to like it, but it's still kind of like a 7.6 to an 8.0 type fragrance. It's nothing absolutely spectacular, but to have a Society Extreme makes no sense. It doesn't. It's not like the Society was a bad. It was a lingering fragrance that lasted for probably 7 to 8 hours. So I don't get it. Anyway, what was another one? Valentino Uomo Green Stravaganza, Born in Roma Green Stravaganza. So they just discontinued the entire Uomo line, not the Born in Roma, the Uomo line. So the Uomo and the Uomo Intense are both gone. If you can find them online and you're interested, buy them now. But it has bergamot, coffee, star anise, and vetiver. We worked it out. There's also going to be lavender, neroli, possibly tea, and something else. I can't remember. But just like Ross said in his live, and just like I said in my other video, that fragrance has the ability to be fantastic or the ability to be super dull and terrible. I don't know either way, and that's one that I wish I could blind buy, but I've never not blind bought a Valentino Born in Roma fragrance. This one I am going to test out first. Anyway, what else is there? Oh yeah, Bulgari's Man in Black Parfum. That one's coming out soon. There's no breakdown. I don't know when it's coming out, and it could have just been a teaser and they never come out with it. Who the hell knows? It was in a picture with Roja Dove. That's it. What's going on, Ross? I just saw your comment pop up there. What's up, Eddie? How you doing? And is there anything else that I missed? There's like 7 new Tom Fords that are being re-released. I saw that and I posted it somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Where are they? Okay, there we go. Some info on the Tom Ford new releases. Vanilla Sex is coming out on December 20th. Vanilla Fatale is coming out this month. Oud Mineral new version is coming soon. Oud Wood Parfum, apparently not until March 2024, but that's definitely coming. Oud Wood Parfum. Neroli Portofino Parfum, March 2024. This one is rumored, but Tobacco Oud, new version, is in the reserve collection, not the signature as previously speculated. Metallique is being discontinued. And no word on Plum Japonais. So that's a bunch of Tom Fords, and I'll be in your comments in a second. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. No, it doesn't look like I'm missing anything. Okay. Well, now we have the rest of the fragrances to get in. Again, I have 2 of these. We have the 2.6 Elixir, and I'm going to start with the other 2 just in 2 seconds. But I want to get back to my live stream so I can see what y'all are saying. Tip your waiter, folks. What's going on, Ross? Thank you so much for the $10 donation. I appreciate that, man. That's a really nice donation. Don't get them very much, but whenever I do, it is always well deserved. It's well deserved. Thanks, Randy. No, it is always accepted, and I thank you very much. It just goes right back to the channel. It's well deserved. I mean, that's nuts. Okay. Now I'll just shut up for a second. So, the Stronger With You tobacco has the potential to be the best from the line. So, the only review that my moderators heard is that it is still not the best in the line, but it's a grown-up version. I don't know much else about that. I don't want to know much else. Just like most reviewers, we don't want to know things before they come out. So even though you guys might be really excited when you get them in, if I haven't tried it, try to stay away from telling me about it, because I like to do my first impressions blind so that I don't know anything about the fragrance, so I can smell it and be like, wow, or that sucks. I would love to do that. But if you tell me, oh, this sucks, then I'm going to go into it and be like, I heard it sucked, so I'm not surprised. It's just, it doesn't make for an honest reaction. You know what I mean? And the people that I stay away from the most are Ross, Jeff, Mike, Dedrick, because most of them have very similar views. Dedrick has more of a vintagey vibe, and Jeff has like a love for florals, it seems. So I know what he will and won't like, but with that said, I stay away from their reviews until I do it right. With that said, I actually have Strong With You leather on the way. I saw it for a really good price. If you guys didn't check it out, if you're looking for some high-end niche fragrances, Venba is going crazy with their prices. It doesn't even make sense, the prices that they're doing lately. I posted every single one that's on their site, so you didn't have to. I posted it like 2 days ago. If you want to check it out, they have a bunch of Suspiro, Mind Games, PDM. Like they have Greenlee 4.2 ounce for like $150. They have Initio Side Effect for 200 for a 3 ounce. I mean, the prices are just outrageous. I mean, what was it? Iomi Monkey Special was like $180. They had what's the last one? Zerjoff Naxos for 156. And so yeah, fantastic. You were right. An honest reaction is best. Yeah, you're right, Sandy. So Central Hub, if you guys haven't checked him out, that is Scott. He is one of my followators. You're a followator. I was reading Ross's comment with a waiter, and I was I was saying follower, so I said followator. But anyway, he was a follower of mine for a while, Scott, and then he lives about a township away from me, and he just created a channel. So if you want to check them out, check them out. They sound like assholes. Just kidding. You talking about yourself, Mo? I am not sure, because it sounds like you. Isn't that right? Sugar Bear. Hey, what's up? Wouldn't surprise me to see another Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio flanker. So, if you guys didn't see my video, Ross already did this today, and I did it the other day, but I'm going to give you some of my predictions for this year, and I'm going to do it really quick because I have other fragrances to get to. My predictions for this year. They may be way off, and I really don't care. So, first one is Chanel. We already heard that it's not going to be Bleu de Chanel Elixir. We already heard it wasn't going to be in the Kashi line. So, or the Allure Homme line. So, I'm just thinking, if I had to create something, they already have Bleu de Chanel, which is blue in French. So, why not Chanel Rouge or Rouge de Chanel? Because it's red. Chanel red. I mean, they have a blue line, now a red line. But I doubt it. So, with that said, the next one is, I said there was going to be a new Valentino Born in Roma, and guess what? We got a new Born in Roma. I said there was going to be a new Le Beau. There's a new Le Beau. Great. Spice Bomb Blue Flanker. Even though I would love that to happen, won't happen because Spice Bomb just doesn't rock that way. For some reason, I don't know, they discontinued their fresh ones. And I would love to have the one that Nate came up with like 2 years ago, Spice Bomb Sapphire. But it doesn't sound like it's going to happen. And we're most likely going to get like Extreme Elixir or like Spice Bomb Parfum or something like that. I would like to see Versace Dylan Blue Parfum, or what Ross said was Versace Pour Homme Parfum would be great. Probably going to get a new flanker for the L'Homme Ideal line. Somebody said earlier I would like to see a green one, and I was thinking about it. So I was like, even though it was discontinued, the Cool, they also discontinued the Cologne, and they came out with Platine Privé, which is basically the Cologne but more fruity. And so I agree, H24 Parfum will probably come out this year. That's correct, Sandy. But oh, what's up, Eddie? Thank you so much for the $10 donation. I appreciate it. With no comment, and just put the number 1. Thank you so much, boss. I appreciate you, buddy. That's awesome. You guys are great. Exactly like I said in my video today. 5 things that I didn't expect when I created my channel was the amount of support that I get from you guys. When I had my channel with my daughter, my Pokemon channel that had 130,000 followers on TikTok or whatever it was, and 200 or 75,000 followers on YouTube, I didn't get the amount of support because they were mostly there for the cards. They didn't care about the people that were in the video. And so it's crazy. Just having 7,000 subscribers, it's crazy to see the amount of support that I get. Positivity, also negativity, but more positivity to overrule it. So it's awesome. I appreciate you, Eddie. I appreciate you, Ross. Thank you guys so much. And even if you didn't donate, it doesn't mean I don't appreciate you just as much. I want to see more from the Abbey Rouge. Abbey Rouge Privé was one of my faves this year. I could see them doing that as well. It was a very beautiful bottle, and Abbey Rouge Privé was a very underrated fragrance from last year that a lot of people didn't talk about. I love it. I think it's really good. It's a vintage barbershop lemon soapy vibe that has leather built into the fragrance, and it dries down to like this modernized vanilla leather. It's a very interesting scent. If you haven't tried it, I would definitely recommend getting a decant if you can. Um, what else is there? Oh, Mont Blanc Explorer Green. That one's definitely on me. Welcome to Moe's. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you as well. You know I appreciate you though. The service in here is amazing. I'll get to go to a decant while you're, I'll get it to go decant while you're at it. I'll give you some decants, Mo. We need a Zaro wanted by afternoon. I have never even thought about that. So Ross said we need an Azaro wanted by afternoon extreme intense parfum. That's awesome. I never even thought about that. Wanted by night. Wanted by, I mean, it would be day, but wanted by afternoon. That's crazy. But they would do that. The extreme intense parfum. So that's the last two things that I'll talk about. So I said in my 2024 thing, I said there's two lines that I think might be discontinuing things to bring things back. At least in my opinion, that's how they would. I gave them coal this year. I gave Armani, because I did a video which brands get coal in their stockings. Armani and Azzaro were on there. Armani was on there for discontinuing both Profumos, Absolute, or both Absolutes, and not really doing much else. And then Azzaro was on there for discontinuing Wanted by Night and coming out with probably the worst release of the year, or at least one of the worst releases in the year. Valentino deserves cool. That was also on my list. Versace was on my list. Chanel was on my list. And Dior was on my list. All because they didn't come out with anything. With that said, I say that they can, Azzaro and Armani can save themselves by releasing Aqua de Jo Absolute Extreme or Absolute Parfum, Code Elixir, or Profumo Elixir. I would be super happy if they came out with one of those, and if they don't, then I think it's a failure. But outside of that, Azzaro, I think that they were discontinuing Wanted by Night to come out with Wanted by Night Parfum, or a mixture between Most Wanted and Wanted by Night, like a Most Wanted by Night. I've been saying that for 2 years now. I would say Most Wanted by Night would be fantastic fragrance. If they mix the two together, that would be fantastic. It's not going to happen, but that's how they would save it. I really hope that they come out with Wanted by Night, like Parfum or something. It's still not going to happen, though. Anyway, I'm looking forward to 2024 releases from Zaharoff coming very soon. Isn't Black Rose on its way? I've been wanting to try that since George talked about it every single day for like a year. It's like, what are you wearing, George? What do you think I'm wearing? I'm wearing freaking Black Rose. D Holmes, are you leaving, buddy? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, Mo's leaving. Okay. Later, Mo. Thank you very much for the donation. I'll talk to you soon, obviously, outside of here. But let me just make sure I need to get into some of these fragrances that I was supposed to talk about in this live anyway. Thanks for the shout out, Randy. That was really great of you. No problem, Scott. And I also shouted out Sandy at one point in time. I want to see more of their Abbott Rouge line. Okay, I didn't. Platine Privé is hard to find. Eddie, it is on News Parfums. It's from France, so it might take a while to get to you, but it's like $48 or something like that on, what's it called? $48 on News Parfums. Speaking of Profumo, I got one on the way. Also, the new codes. You know what's funny is that my Ulta still has both Aqua de Jo Profumo, the entire the entire thing, like it's still filled for Aqua de Jo Profumo, and they still have like 9 code absolutes. Even though they're discontinued, I keep telling them, I'm like, you know, those are discontinued. They're like, they haven't told us to take them down. I was like, are you sure you didn't just miss that memo? Because everywhere else it's gone. A new Missoni would be nice. Yeah, I haven't really seen a new release since I started my channel from them, so I doubt they will. Wait till you guys see the bottle. I'd like to see Eros Elixir or Dylan Blue Elixir. Dylan Blue Parfum, I think, would be the next one. Eros Elixir, I couldn't care less about. I don't like Eros. I like Eros Flame. I would like to see an Eros Flame flanker, but I doubt that's going to happen either. Zaharoff Rose Elixir. Actually, rose lasts forever on my skin. I don't like rosé. I don't like rose, but there's two fragrances that I like rose in, and it's Zaharoff's Rosé and MFK L'Homme à la Rose. So that's a good transition point, right? Yeah, I wish Ross, you have probably so many things in your house that you're not allowed to say anything about. But anyway, so I finally got this in. I got this in from Venba, and I've been wanting to get a full bottle ever since my decant ran out. I'm only going to talk about it for a second because you guys know I like it. It's the best amber fragrance, in my opinion, in existence. MFK's Grand Soir. So I was just talking about L'Homme à la Rose. This is Grand Soir. It's a very simplistic, linear fragrance. It is lavender, vanilla, and amber. That's what the fragrance is in a nutshell, with a little bit of spice in there, but it's like really not noticeable. It's super smooth. It's super high quality. It's super sexy, super alluring. Women love it. Guys love it. It's just rich, alluring, vanilla, amber. I actually find it to be a little bit more vanilla than amber, but it's great. It's a great scent. I just got this in, and I'm so happy to finally have a bottle. You know what I didn't realize is how freaking small these bottles look in a collection. I mean, this is the same size as like my Parfums de Marly Sedley, and it's like super small. I never realized how small the bottles looked. Anyway, a fragrance buy is strong with you leather for under 110. Got mine delivered last week. Yeah, I saw it on Fragrance Net for $98 a few days ago. And that's in the United States, so you don't have to pay for shipping. Which, if you have coupons on there. Anyway, this is the second one, and then I'll get into my first impression fragrances. So this is one that Hamzat sent me. It is Ultra Red Man by Paco Rabanne. I've been wanting to try it for some time. Somebody said they were going to send me a full bottle, and I was like, you know what? If you want to, go ahead, fine. And then they never did. So then Hamzat was like, you know what? That dude's an ass. I'll send you it. And then he sent me this. So let's try out Ultra Red. The only reason people wanted me to try this is because I said I really wanted to try Ultra Zest by Mugler. I haven't tried it in a long time. I smelled it once, and then it was gone forever. And now it's like $400. And they said, well, this kind of smells like it. So it does in a way, but for the most part, you can tell it's a cheapie. But Ultra Red is kind of just like a orange cashy. It has this kind of like vanilla smell to it in the background. It doesn't really smell like Allure Homme Extreme. It's just kind of like that vanilla, but it smells like almost like an orange creamsicle, at least in the opening. But it does have a lot of synthetics in it. A little bit of an aromatic tone, but yeah, it's almost like an orange creamsicle, maybe like a blood orange or something. I don't know exactly what's in this, but yeah, it's nice. It's something that's an easy wear. It kind of is in the same realm as like Mandarina Duck and Coach for Men, where they're very easy random pull fragrances to wear, like if you're running errands or something like that. It's not something I would recommend wearing on a date or for everyday wear, but I don't think that this smells like Ultra Zest, though, as far as like what it was supposed to be, and the quality is definitely not there. But with that said, for something that you can get around $30, I think that this is a really nice, easy, random pull, aromatic citrus vanilla fragrance. And the citrus is already waning on my skin, so I'm going to say this is more of like a woody aromatic vanilla fragrance at its core. But I'll come back to that because I actually haven't given it a full wear yet. I was waiting to do a video, but it's doesn't. From what I remember from smelling that other one, it doesn't smell like it's anything similar. This is the one I've been wanting to get to. That's why I am flying through those ones. So my favorite indie release of 2022, Coastal Carolina Parfums Southern Peach Tea. It was a boozy Southern Peach Tea. Is kind of what it smelled like. It had fresh Georgia peach smell to it. It had spices and woods, and it smelled like a Southern Peach Tea with a little bit of booze. Fragrance. That fragrance was great. This is the one that came out before it, and I never tried it before. It's Coastal Carolina's 2.6 Elixir. and I'm about to smell it. And I actually I'm gonna save this one for skin because I heard really good things about this fragrance, and very much there's a reason for that. There's a very big alcohol tinge in the opening, though. Like a very, very large alcohol tinge. I don't know if it's because of the decant. But now that it's going away, it was only a few seconds. That is great. So I know some people compared it to Herod, Parfums de Marly Herod. No, it's not really in that vicinity. This is a little bit more of a drier tobacco, more of a leafy tobacco for sure. But that's really nice. If you're looking for like a nice ambery, slightly woody tobacco fragrance, it has a little bit of vanilla in it too. So it is creeping in closer to something like Parfums de Marly Herod, but it has a little bit more of a unique sweetness that you don't get from that. 2.6 Elixir is nice. Man, that's good. It's a little bit more grown up than what you get with Herod too. Even though Herod is a more grown up fragrance, I think. I feel. This one has that DNA, the same one that is in Coastal Carolina Parfums, that peach one that I was just talking about. I can't think of it now. Southern Peach Tea. There's that same DNA. It's like he uses that same undertoning musk and amber in both of them. There's this like same with the Southern Peach Tea. There's like a fruity note to it. It's almost like, so I understand why people compare it to Herod, but there's only kind of like that sweet tobacco ambery vanilla in the background that reminds me of it. But over top of it, there is definitely that musky fruitiness that you get from the other one that I tried. So if you're looking for like a fruity tobacco fragrance that has some musk in it and like an ambery vanilla backtone, it's good. There's a little bit more of a freshness to this, a little bit cleaner than any other tobacco fragrance that I've tried to date. So this is something that maybe you might be able to get away with during the spring and even like cooler nights in the summer too. 2.6 Elixir is actually quite nice. I don't like the name Elixir though because it doesn't smell very strong. I'm gonna have to let that sit, but as of right now, so far, that's actually bottle worthy. I'm gonna look up the notes and see what's actually in this fragrance. 2.6 Elixir. Oh, it's on Fragrantica. Nice. Amber, tobacco, vanilla, sweet worm, spicy, powdery. Vanilla, tobacco, spices, amber. Yeah, that doesn't help. Let's see if it's on his website, because that doesn't help at all. I'm trying to figure out what the fruity note is. Mandarin, cinnamon, rum, tobacco, vanilla, honey, dried berries. That's what it is. So they have mandarin, pink pepper, cinnamon, rum, tobacco, vanilla, honey, dried berries, benzoin, tonka, and sandalwood. So the rum is providing a little bit of sweetness in there. The dried berries is mixing together with the pink pepper to give almost this fresh and fruity accord, which is really nice. And then you have this nice dried tobacco underneath it with a little bit of that benzoin and amber. Even though it doesn't say amber in the dry down, there's definitely, or in the note breakdown, there's definitely an amber musky undertone. And then the mandarin, I can see that mixing together with the fruits, but I don't get much of it. But you guys need to try out 2.6 Elixir. $35 for a 17 milliliter. That's a little bit steep. I thought that before too. Whenever I got the Coastal Carolina Southern Peach Tea, it was like 130 something, and I was like, 50 milliliters. That's steep, even though it's a really good fragrance. This is good. I mean, it's definitely an indie style fruity tobacco fragrance. If you're looking for a fruity tobacco fragrance that has some spice and a little bit of a sweet depth to it, that's what you're going to get with this one. I enjoy it. I actually really enjoy it. I still like Southern Peach Tea better. Okay, I don't know if I like Ultra Red. Ultra Red is drying down. Not how I expected. It's a lot of lavender. It is a lot of lavender. Very earthy aromatic. Not what I had expected. It has that same kind of like aromatic tone that you get from Invictus Victory. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Some people don't get it as heavy as I do, but I do. Um, there's definitely like a heavy lavender in the dry down of Ultra Red. I'm not thrilled with that. There's a laundry type musk I get on my skin. Glad you like it. It's a big fruity note too. Yeah, that's pretty much what you get. I'm surprised people are comparing this to Herod though. There's a little bit of that kind of like amber vanilla tobacco tone underneath it, but it's not a moist tobacco. It doesn't have, it has the honey and stuff, but it's not as prominent. And I still like, I think Herod a bit more, but if you're looking for like a slightly fresher, fruity version of a tobacco fragrance, that's what you get with this one. Puppet Master. What's up? What's up, Celeste Johnston? What's your favorite woody oud fragrance? Well, I will have to say that I don't get into ouds very much. I'm not a huge Middle Eastern dark woody fragrance fan. With that said, I'm going to be a boring answer on this one because the two that I've tried that are the most mass appealing are the only ones that I would technically recommend, and that's Stronger With You Oud, which doesn't really smell like an oudy fragrance. It smells like a dark woody fragrance that comes with the intensely, or the new Paco Rabanne's Golden Oud, but I would put Stronger With You Oud way above that. But again, I don't really like if you're talking about niche oudy fragrances, they are not my style of fragrance. If you're looking for like a woody style scent, Versace Santal Boisé is my favorite sandalwood fragrance in existence. That stuff is phenomenally the most smooth fragrance. Like it's just like Grand Soir. It's a very smooth. It's almost like the dry down of Issey Miyake's Noir Ombre. It's kind of like without leather. It's a very heavy sandalwood. It's super creamy, super smooth, and then you get a nice ambery undertone and some vanilla. Fragrance is fantastic. But that's it. You're talking about oud, so that doesn't really matter. What's up, Hamzat? How you doing? I was just talking about you a little bit ago. You're wearing Fabulous Yuzu by Mancera. And speaking of Yuzu, if you guys didn't notice, Jensense, he has that line, Galleria Parfums. Right now, it's like 80% off the entire line. You can get any of the bottles, even though I tried all 10, and I only liked three. Three enough to buy a bottle. And right now, they're running for 41 bucks, which for that line, I think they should have been $100 fragrances anyway, but they were 205, and now they're running for $41. The ones I would say to get are Cognac Cafe. That's a really nice one. It's like a boozy coffee. I mean, obviously. Then you have Shades of Seduction. And then my favorite fresh from the line is By the Yuzu Grove, which is why Hamzat just reminded me of that. What's up, Mike? What's up, dude? Glad to join the live stream. It's been a while. Yeah, Puppet Master, no problem. Have you tried MFK's Gentle Fluidity Silver? No, but I tried a clone. I asked the people at my Nordstrom because it's the only like niche heavy place that I have in my area, and they do not carry it. So I do have a clone of it though. Was it my favorite? No, not really. But who's to say that it wasn't just a bad clone? I like woody smelling oud more than the butthole smelling oud. Yeah, me too. But again, for me, it's more the designer style ouds that I like better. Minus Boss Bottled Oud, I don't like that. But Stronger With You Oud, Paco Rabanne's Golden Oud, both of them are very nice fragrances. A little bit more situational as expected, and a little bit on the Middle Eastern side, especially with Stronger With You in the opening. The 1 million Golden Oud is more Middle Eastern throughout. But that's where you're going to get more of the dark woody ouds that are not going to be animalic, fecal, stuff like that. It's more going to be just like almost like a Gaiac wood. It's kind of what that smells like. Moving Times from Galleria is a solid iris. Yeah, I didn't like that. it was not in my hate. It just wasn't in my like buy a bottle. I had three that I said was good enough to buy a bottle. I had three that were like I like them, but I won't buy a bottle. And then the rest of them, I was like, nope, won't buy those. I do have both of Jen Scent's fragrances on the way. Apparently, there's two new ones, and thank you to Josh. You guys might have seen him in Ross's live streams. His name is Josh Inguina or Ingenua. I don't know. I apologize, Josh, if you watch this. I don't know your last name. Like I don't know how to say it. Somebody called you iguana the other day. But he's sending me both of Jen Scent's decants, and apparently the one smells like cinnamon toast crunch. So I was like, if it's cinnamon toast crunch, it's like one of my favorite cereals. So yeah, send that my way, buddy. What do you think of Versace's Oud Noir? That's pretty woody. Yeah, that's a good one too. I didn't even think about that. And then also there's the new Polo Oud that right now is on Fragrance Buy. I have yet to try that, but I am buying that, but I'm not buying it until February. So if you guys want to know my opinions, you're going to have to wait a few months. And I'm also going to wait until the prices drop down on it because that's usually when it happens, right in the middle of February. That's whenever the year before that releases usually drop down to really good prices. Ooh. Is it true about Nordstrom and niche fragrances in our area? Is oh yeah, I thought you said is this true? No, this is true. Are we gonna see you at a fragrance convention like Scent Explorer? Puppet Master. It's actually funny that you said that. One of my moderators, Hamzat Killa Kamikaze, who was in the chat, he lives in New York, and so we were just talking about it a few weeks back about how we would like to go to Scent Explorer, and even though the prices are nuts, and I said, you know what, next year, so I guess next November, December, whenever it is, we are actually going to go. At least I know I am. I don't know. I never actually asked him, but I'm sure if I went, Hamzat would probably meet up with me. But I am going to go to the next year's one, but not until probably December or so. Because that's usually whenever I head up to New York. It's only a 3-hour drive for me. So, yeah, I'm definitely going next year. Chocolate Greedy, Dan, not to man. I do like my cereal. I like my cereal stuff. But Chocolate Greedy, that stuff is amazing. If Jen Sense is anything like that as far as cereals are concerned, then I'm definitely going to like his fragrance. Armani's Queers is I've never heard of that. Good and underrated. Amir, I've never heard of that before. I can't even pronounce it, but it's probably in Armani's private blend line. I've never seen any of them in person, so yeah, I have no idea. There's a new Armoff. You don't need to say sorry, Scott. It was my fault for reading it wrong. There's a new Armoff CDN Oud. I did see that. I saw that. Somebody posted it today. It was a gents. I think he posted it on Instagram. Um, am I interested? No, not really. Is it a clone of something? I had no idea. I also picked up Chocolate Greedy. Oh, yeah. Armoff Pura Herba. Is that like Herba Pura, but just backwards? Is that really what it is? Goodness gracious. Yeah, because they already have an Herba Pura clone. Oh, wait, no, that's All Haramain. All Haramain has an Herba Pura. Wait, they do too. Armoff has one that is only sold at perfume outlet or fragrance outlet. What is it called? It's like, so this one here that I have is All Haramain's Amber Oud Gold Edition, and that's Amber Oud and Ombre Oud Intense. Armoff already has an Herba Pura clone. It's called Ombre Oud Intense. Ombreoud Intense. Yes. So why would they make another one? Wearing Spice Bomb Infrared EDT today. Brian, that smells great. And if you have Boss Bottled, the original, layer them together and thank me later. That is my wife's favorite layering. It smells kind of like their version together of Angel Share. It's really freaking good. Replicas Under the Stars is also underweighted. Why am I doing the W's today? Underrated wood. Personally preferred over oud wood and Tuscan leather. See, I actually don't like Under the Stars, but my friend Jeff does. He likes Under the Stars. I found Under the Stars too feminine for me. It's much too feminine for me. I couldn't personally wear it. I sprayed it on in Sephora and I had to wash it off. Have you tried Louis Vuitton? Louis Vuitton Imagination, Randy? Smacked? No. Yes, I have. That's the one I tried. What is Lamensity or Lamensite or however you say that? That's the one I need. I need to try that. But I have tried, and I do have a clone of Louis Vuitton's Imagination as well. I have the decant of Imagination. I like it. Is it something that I would buy a full bottle of? No, probably not. The clone did okay, and so that's not something that like that's the only time that I'll keep a clone over it is if I don't feel the need to buy a bottle. But the Lamensite or Lamensity, however you say it, that's the one I need to get my hands on because apparently that one's great. How about this? My wife gave me an early birthday present or early Christmas present today. I got the new Croc slides. I heard that these are even better than the Yeezy slides, and I put these on, and they're super freaking comfortable. And they were two for 40 some dollars. Yeah, I'm super excited that she got me those. I love slides. I'm a slide type guy. Which one do you prefer, Prada Luna Rossa Ocean EDP or Sauvage Parfum? Sauvage Parfum. Even though I'm not a Sauvage person, and Luna Rossa EDP, I liked it first, but didn't love. So I actually sold that bottle. But Sauvage Parfum, I would say I like a little bit better than that, but mostly because I don't really like either that much. I've never been big into Sauvage. If I had to pick a Sauvage from the line, it would obviously be Elixir because I don't really like the Sauvage DNA, which is not a popular opinion. I don't think. I mean, most people seem to be okay with Sauvage. For the most part, I never really cared about it, and my wife doesn't like it. That's another reason why I don't care about Sauvage. My wife is like 50% of my own opinion. I have a couple of Jensen's in 10 milliliter for Blue Ridge, and I have those as well. Both mass appealing. Blue Ridge definitely similar to YSL EDT. Have you tried? So, Blue Ridge is kind of like if you mixed YSL Y with light blue. That's exactly what that fragrance really smells like, but it's a little bit more in your face, which is why I like the other two brands better. And Terra Nova, I also tried that, and I think that one's better than Blue Ridge. Brian, there's a lot. A lot. I mean, a lot. She doesn't she doesn't really like this, surprisingly. What else doesn't she like that I love? Um, Most Wanted Parfum. She doesn't like that one, which I love it. She loves the original though. Let's see. She doesn't like any of the L'Homme Medials. She doesn't like Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir at all. Um, she doesn't like Bull's Blood at all, which is what I'm about to talk to you guys about next. But with that said, I actually quite enjoyed the first couple seconds. So, with that said, I just got this from Imaginary Authors. I have Bull's Blood and blend number 83. So, blend number 83, I'm going to talk about first. So, I was super excited whenever I heard about this fragrance. The notes in it, so it's a fragrance that was combined with Imaginary Authors and Kahlua. They made kind of like, apparently like a espresso martini in a bottle. And when I got this, I was super, super, super excited about it. And when I sprayed it on the first time, I was like, I don't even know if I want to review this because it was so much of a dark chocolate, and there's a musk in this. I think it's called night musk. Yeah, night musk. That I don't feel should actually be in this fragrance. And so I was talking to Newt and one of my moderators who also got it. And he got this like a week before me. And I said, does that ever dry down? And he said, no, not really. So with that fragrance, if anybody is looking to buy from me blend number 83, am really upset about it, but I will never, unfortunately, wear this because it is like a dark chocolate espresso. It does smell like that. The dark chocolate espresso is 100% front and center there, but then there's something even further on top of it that makes it so cloying that I can't personally get around it, and it's that night musk. It's almost like, wait, where did I spray it? I mean, sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. But it's way, and it says it on the back. It says decadence is the imaginary note. And it is. It's just way too decadent to the point where it actually makes my mouth tingle. It does smell. I mean, some people I've heard actually do really enjoy this fragrance, but you have to like be somebody who likes severely sweet scents that are severe dark chocolate. I'm not a big fan of dark chocolate, and the notes in this are dark chocolate, sugarcane rum, Arabica coffee, velvety foam, benzoin, night musk, and decadence. So you need to have like very, very, very strong, sweet, dark chocolate fragrances that have a very, very strong coffee note to it, like this Arabica coffee. It's a very dark coffee. And it's just very dark, dark, dark with a kind of in this musky tone to it that I can't describe. It's just a very dark musk that is kind of just really in your face. It's very decadent, and I can see why people would like it, but I'm going to still stay with the ones that I like from the line, which are those three. Memoirs of a Trespasser, St. Julep is my favorite. Falling into the Sea is a really good one for the spring and summer. Then we have Oh Unknown, Cape Heartache, and Soft Lawn. Those are my favorites from the line. But again, if you guys want to buy the blend number 83 from me, I will sell it to you. Right now it's running for $105. I'll sell that to you for $85. Just message me, comment, whatever it has to be. We'll get you in contact. I'll do the shipping to you. For me, that decadence, I've tried it, I've worn it. Unfortunately, it's just not something I personally can wear. I don't know if it's just the way it reacts on my skin or what it is, but it's not that it smells bad. It's just, it's too decadent for me. It's too dark for me. And Newt said he tried to get around it and he couldn't. But again, I heard people on Dedrick, I think it was Dedrick's channel when I was talking about it, that he said that, I'll have to find that. Thanks, not so. Oh, yeah. That's Newt. Newt I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to buy it from me, just give me a shout and I'll send it to you. This is the next one. So this is one that has gotten reviews to the point where it was either severely hated or it has like a cult following. This is Bull's Blood. And the imaginary note in this is, you guessed it, bull's blood. It's geranium, Spanish rose, patchouli, black musk, tobacco, sandalwood, and then the imaginary note, bull's blood. I sprayed this on before, and I can tell you, I can see why this has been given either a cult following or very polarizing standards where people just say, you know what, I can't do it. It's a little bit too polarizing for me. I can understand that. The way that this fragrance comes across to me, as soon as I sprayed it on, it reminded me immediately of a kind of more in-your-face version of a Mouage Opus 14 Royal Tobacco. It has that very kind of like incensey, spicy tobacco. It really does remind me. If you like a Mouage Royal Tobacco, you should try this fragrance. But this one is a lot drier. There's I don't know what exactly it is that's providing that dry. I don't know if it's the black musk. I don't know if it's the whatever the heck is in. There's a lot of notes that I've never heard of before, like Spanish rose. I'm guessing that's some kind of rose, obviously, but the black musk, that's probably what it is, because the musk in the other one, the night musk, is a little different too. But bull's blood, I actually quite enjoy it. It's very interesting, but many love it, so try before you buy. You definitely need to try bull's blood before you buy it. I wouldn't recommend going out and trying that before you buy it. But surprisingly, I did not think I was going to like that fragrance. But when I sprayed it on, I was like, my wife said, "Get the hell out of here." But she just was like, "No, I cannot do it." That it's and she even said like 2 minutes later, she's like, "It's like on my face. I don't know how to get rid of it. How do I get rid of this?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "It smells good." I was like, "I like this." It's super personal enjoyment. I mean, bull's blood is definitely try again. Try before you buy. But if you like Amouage Royal Tobacco, that is the closest thing that you can get to this as far as a comparison in my eyes. There's a definite aromatic tone, but this is more of like almost like the best way I can put it, a very dry, leafy tobacco mixed together with some woods and spice, and then you get this very dry, almost like hay like background. That's the way that it comes off to me, and then you get a little bit of this kind of florally rose, but that is neither here or there. For me, the tobacco is the thing that stands out the most, and then that kind of like hay-like woody background. It's a very dry scent, but it's a very masculine scent, and it's one that, again, try before you buy. But I can see why people like this. I mean, I can see why there is a cult following to it. If you love like the super niche artistic style fragrances, Bull's Blood is where you're gonna want to be at. But if you're looking to stay more in the mass appeal realm, then again, you're going to want to go with the six that I mentioned. St. Julep is a great minty fragrance. Falling into the Sea, right there, the blue one, that is a tropical fragrance. That one right there, that's Whispers in the Library, or Memoirs of a Trespasser. Smell the same. That's why I keep getting them mixed up. Woody Vanilla. Um, Oh Unknown, a dark tea. Soft Lawn, exactly what you would think. It's like a grassy but sweet grassy scent. And then Cape Heartache, a little bit fruity, a little bit green. I like that fragrance as well. And Sundrunk, Rhubarb. I really like Sundrunk as well. The name Bull's Blood puts me off. It does for a lot of people. That's one fragrance that I am not sure whether to try. Is To Me 19 Degree. So I got a decant of it in, and I was sent a decant of To Me 19 Degree, and I tried it out. And whenever I did, it was a very small decant, and I was just like, I understand why people enjoy this fragrance, but to me, you have to like a Ventus before you go and say like it for me, that's why people like To Me 19 Degree. It almost smells like a Ventus meets Tuscan leather. And thing is that I love Aventus cologne, but I don't like Aventus. I don't like that heavy birch from Aventus. I just don't like it, never have. And then Tuscan leather. I like ombre leather, but Tuscan leather I've never been a big fan of. So you put those two together and you have a little bit of a twist on it. That's To Me 19 Degree, and it's just two fragrances combined in my eye, at least from my testing, that it doesn't smell bad. It's still for me like a 7.8 or so. I know people that love it. I know Jeff loves it. I know Scott loves it. I know other people, like I think Sandy just said that he likes it. But with that said, it's just not my style of fragrance. I can wear it, but will I buy a bottle? No, because again, to me, it's just it's a combination of the two. It's Tuscan leather. It reminds me of Tuscan leather meets more of The Office than Aventus, but it's like that birchiness. Do you guys get that too? The people who do love it, do you get that Aventus mix? Because it has that raspberry leather that you get from Tuscan leather. Yes, Scott, that's definitely there. Raspberry leather, fruity leather. That's the reason I don't like Tom Ford's Tuscan leather, which, yeah. Um, is performance good on imaginary author's fragrance? It depends on which one you get. Some of them are really good, and some of them are just okay. Um, like Saint Julep, 4 to 5 hours for most people. I get like 6, but mine's been there for a while, so I don't know if it just matured. Um, that one, Memoirs of a Trespasser, I get about 8. Falling into the Sea, I get like 6 to 5. Sun Drunk, I get like 2. But Bull's Blood, I could say just smelling it now, you probably get like 10 hours. With that said, again, To Me 19 Degree, it is what it is hyped up to be. It is for people who love that Aventus DNA, which again, cult following, and a much larger cult following than Bull's Blood. Then you have Tuscan Leather, again, cult following, but you mix those two together, and if you don't like those two fragrances, like me, then you're not going to like To Me 19 Degree. But the thing is again, I don't hate it. I think that it still smells good. If somebody gave me a bottle, I'd probably wear through it, but I'm not going to physically go out and buy it because I would never reach for it. You know what I mean? And I've learned over the last year and a half with the amount of fragrances that I buy that I'm only from now on going to buy fragrances that I know I'm going to love. And so now I'm outside of new release designers, which I'm going to be a little bit more picky about this year. Because last year I spent, or technically 2023, I spent like almost $11,000 just in new release designer fragrances. And so I need to cut back on that. And next year, I'm going to sample anything that I can beforehand, even if I don't get my video out before people. But with that said, I'm still going to do the ones that I love, that I'm really looking forward to, as quick as I can, if that makes sense. So, anyway, to recap what I talked about today, best amber scent in existence. Right now, it's $199 for this size on Venba fragrance. It's in my community tab. Definitely hook a brother up with a little nice little affiliate, but great fragrance prices. But don't stretch yourself thin right now because it is Christmas, so maybe wait. Ultra Red Man. It's not as lavender as it was before, but now it's just kind of like a basic scent. I would I recommend buying that? No, probably not. Um, Coastal Carolina 2.6 Elixir. I'm buying a bottle of that. It is a fruity tobacco scent. It has a musky backbone, but it's fruity tobacco with an amber vanilla undertone. It's a little bit fresher than what you get with like a Herod. So it's a more of like an all-season fruity tobacco scent. 2.6 Elixir is really nice by Coastal Carolina Parfums. Again, blend number 83 by Imaginary Authors. I understand why people enjoy that fragrance, but I understand why some people don't enjoy the fragrance. It's a little bit too decadent for my style. While it does smell like a really dark chocolate mixed with a dark coffee, mixed with a dark musk, it's a super dark and decadent fragrance. You have to like that. It is boozy. It is chocolatey. It's exactly what you would think from that fragrance. It's just there is this night musk to it that makes it very, very, very dark. So dark and decadent. In Bull's Blood, very surprised by this fragrance. Did not expect anything from it. I actually expected to hate it, to be honest with you. With as much as I'm not a personal enjoyment scent type guy, but because this reminded me of Amouage Royal Tobacco, which is my favorite Amouage at this point in time, it's kind of like that incensey tobacco almost. This one is more of like a dry hay-like tobacco with a little bit of this rose and sandalwood in it. I think the fragrance is really nice, especially when it dries down. I didn't expect myself to like Bull's Blood either. Yeah, I'm surprised by that shit. Um, with that said, I am going to give To Me 19 Degree a couple more wears. I did try out the original Awaken, and that smells like a 1990s fragrance, but I actually really like it. I don't know why. I found a decant in my drawer and I tried out the original Awaken and I was like, that's good. So is Celsius. They were like good original releases. They don't last very long, but I just found Awaken and it makes me really want to try Awaken Distilled because if that's even better than the original Awaken, I'm going to really like that. With that said, I recently smelled something called Neurotic. That reminded me of a dark, oody 19 degree with smoky berry. I have Neurotic over there. I don't know if we're talking about the same fragrance, though. It has a gold cap to it. Somebody sent me it. I don't know what it's from, and I can't think of it now, and I don't want to get up. But it's called Neurotic, and it's over there, and it came with a set of things. Also, there's a thing called New Bottles on Facebook. If you guys haven't seen it, they also have a webpage. It's the original perfumer for City Rhythm. He has something called Winter Cloud, and apparently it is a mix because he does a lot of clone style things, inspired by fragrances. It's by New Bottles, and it's called Winter Clouds, and apparently it's a mixture between Leighton and Baccarat Rouge 540 extrait. It has like the apple and the almond, and it's like all of a mixture of. If you like Leighton and you like BR 540, try that. I just tried it out, and it's actually really good. And if you want a idea for a fantastic, very inexpensive fragrance, if you like Wanted by Night and you like 1 million Privé, and I can hear some of you guys, yes, yes, well, try this Making Sense Fallen Leaf. It is legit. Wanted by Night meets 1 million Privé mixed together with a little bit more fruits. It is the best thing from the house of Making Sense. I've tried Iris Man. I like that. And I tried Cherry Cola. Smells more like a vanilla cola. But with that said, oh, speaking of Cherry Cola, you remember when we were doing the live stream and then there was this like stuff in it and we thought it was mold or something? Well, it's supposed to look like a Coke. That's the reason. He said he's going to keep it out because it gets stuck in the straw, as you guys can tell. But in the Cherry Cola, he was trying to make it look like cola, but it didn't help him out. But shout out to Michael Dinsmore for sure, because Fallen Leaf fragrance is amazing. I've tried so many of their fragrances. This one knocks every one of them out of the park. Oh, so damn good. But I'm also a huge fan of the two fragrances it's supposed to smell like. Um, I want to explore Toomey more. Yeah, I would expect that you should. Awakened Distilled is the next one I think you should try. Not because I've tried it, because I've heard so many people talk about how good it is. Might have to buy Platine Privé. Has comparisons to Imagination and Tiger. So it doesn't smell like Imagination or Tiger. Tigar, which are my two favorite freshies. So, Smacked. That is basically a re-released L'Homme Ideal cologne with a sweet, fruity, tarty fruit up top. It's like a fruit tart citrus. It's literally what they did is they just discontinued L'Homme Ideal cologne and they re-released it and added this sweet tart like citrus up top. That's exactly. It's like a fruity citrus almost. But that's pretty much what it is. To me, I smelled Tigar, and I smelled all the clones of Tigar. It doesn't smell like either, and I smelled Imagination, and it doesn't smell like that either. Just an FYI, I've smelled all of those, and I've worn a lot of Platine Privé, and it does not smell like it. It has similar qualities, so if you like those, you might like that, yes. But don't go into it thinking it's the same, because it still has the L'Homme Ideal DNA. It's still that almond. It's still the citrus. It's still that DNA. But, yeah. FYI, Toomey 19 Degree, Continuum, and Unwind have been popping up at Burlington if you were interested in trying them. $29.99 for a 1 ounce, good price for those. Are you talking to me, Scott? What Burlington are you talking about? Because I might check out those. For $29.99, I'll get a 1 ounce. I really want to try Fallen Leaf for sure. Yeah, Scott, I think it's like $20 and you get this. Not 19 degrees. I thought that's what you said. FYI, Toomey 19 Degree, Continuum, and Unwind. Aren't those three different fragrances? Peacekeeper, you don't need to put the at fragrance, dude, because this is my live chat. But I appreciate for the shout out there. What fragrance would you wear to a special occasion? There's a few. If you actually think of specific special occasion fragrances, they're usually going to be the ones that are going to be a little bit more mature. The one that I think about every single time you think of special occasion fragrances, there's one, and it's Parfums de Marly Pegasus. To me, that one is the definition of suit and tie wedding special occasion. That is what it, but if you're talking about holidays, there's differences. Like, if you're talking about Thanksgiving, if you're talking about Christmas, if you're talking about that kind of stuff, I would go with Angel Share. That is my go-to for those. If you're talking about a wedding, it's Pegasus. If you're talking about going anywhere else in like a suit and a tie during the winter, Grand Soir would be a great one. If you're talking about during the summer, I would probably wear Sedley. Um, if you're talking about like, I might even go with Triumph of Bacchus or Parfums de Marly Herod. Those ones are actually pretty good too, but for the most part, it all depends on where you're telling me to go. If you're telling me to go to a wedding, it's probably Pegasus, or Grand Soir. Um, if you're telling me to go to the other places, again, it all depends on what season it is. If it's in the spring, I'll probably wear St. Julep. Suit and tie wedding occasion, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, so suit and tie or wedding, you're gonna wear probably Pegasus or Grand Soir, depending on what time of year it is. Again, if it's a wedding suit and tie and you're going during the summer, I would wear more of um, a classy scent that is fresh. Which to me, every time I think of that, again, I go straight Parfums de Marly or Creed Aventus Cologne. So Parfums de Marly Sedley or Creed Aventus Cologne. Those ones are fantastic wears to warm weather ones, but for cold weather ones, I would definitely go with Grand Soir or Pegasus every single time. Signature Rosé would be a good summer wedding one as well if you like rose. Um, yeah, those are definitely some good scents. I mean, there's a lot of designer fragrances out there that would work really well as well. Like if you're looking for a designer one, cheaper, YSL Le Parfum is probably the best designer suit and tie fragrance that you can get that is the most versatile, the most liked, and the best suit and tie designer fragrance that I found outside of like if you're talking about like the Bleu de Chanel's or a blue fragrance and you're looking for like just yeah, there's Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage, but for me, it's YSLY Le Parfum. That's the best designer to wear. Either that or that motherfucker. I mean, either one of those two. That'll get you. If you're single, it'll get you laid. If you're, I know somebody's gonna slap me as soon as they know, as soon as they hear me say that, and they rewatch this. There's a reviewer out there that if he could, he would reach through the phone and slap me as soon as I just said that. As soon as I said it, I was like, yep, he hates when people say that. But anyway, this is fun. I need to do this more often. But again, sorry guys, I had COVID. If you can tell, my lips are dry. I don't like dry lips or anything like that, but COVID sucks. Never get it. Never, ever, ever get it. What's bull's blood appropriate for? Picking pumpkins, going to the farm, uh, cigar bar. That's about it. I honestly can't think. I can't think of where else that would be good for. I mean, like literally, I'm every time when I'm smelling that, all I'm thinking about is like a cigar bar with like a bunch of grown adults, or like maybe if you're going pumpkin picking or on a hayride or something like that, like those would be the spots. Bull's blood, I would wear that to that. So yeah, that's pretty much when I would wear that. I just wish I liked blend number 83. But you know what? Just for that, as soon as I sell my blend number 83, if there is anybody interested, thanks for the detailed response. SoCal Sense asked this question and his answer was low maltine. It's funny that you say SoCal Sense because he's the one I was talking about. As soon as I said the Lade thing, I was like, if Jeff reads that, he's gonna call me and he's gonna reach through the fragrance. And he's gonna reach through the phone and slap me because he hates when people say like get laid or whatever from a fragrance. But low maltine, if it wasn't discontinued, that would be up there with Wiley Parfum. Low Maltine, I need to find a freaking bottle of that. If anybody wants to sell me a bottle of Low Maltine, I'll buy it. I don't care what you want for it. I want Low Maltine. I've seen it for 130. I will buy it for 150 if you have it because I trust you guys more. But with that said, if you want blend number 83, full, sprayed maybe 5 times, I'll sell it to you for $20 off. I'll pay for shipping. But I appreciate all you guys. This was a really nice live stream. We had a nice little responses going on, kept it going, went through some fragrances, and had some fun. So we're gonna get into Hamzat's list. So we're gonna have some nighttime videos coming because I'm busy. If you guys noticed, my last 3 videos were at 6:30 at night. It's because I've been so busy, so I'm recording them during the day. I'm editing them in between doing things, and then I'm posting them later at night. So you probably will get some later videos, but next is Rob, aka Killer Kamikaze. So thank you to Newt, thank you to Mo, thank you guys for letting me know to get well soon. I hope I do. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. We will be doing and getting back to doing the weekly live stream soon, and we're going to be doing a 7,000 subscriber giveaway because we are just about there. So we had 6,000 subscribers to end November, and now we're almost at 7,000, and it's only been like 14 days since. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate you guys. Well done to all of you. Thank you for the, let me think who did it. So Eddie, Mo, and Ross. Thank you for the $10 donations, everybody. Appreciate you for the get well cards and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.